Hello, so in this video I'm going to share the birth chart of Steffi Graf. The reason why I've taken her birth chart is that if you study her chart, it's not quickly apparent that she's a tennis player. So she has a very interesting chart, and as we go through her birth chart, hopefully we'll learn some important lessons which hopefully you can apply in reading your birth chart. Have a look at the main chart firstly. I find Jupiter ruling the house linked to her career. It's placed in the 4th house. I'm not entirely sure this combination is suggesting she's a tennis player. And then Mars is ruling the 6th and 11th house. So these are the 3 important houses you must analyze, starting with where the rulers are placed. So Mars in the 6th in Anuradha. I'm 50-50. She can be a tennis player. She could also be a lawyer. Mars in the 6th in Anuradha. And Anuradha's ruler Saturn is in the 11th in Ashwini. I actually see someone who can be a social activist of some kind. And Jupiter in the 4th also is linking her career to the social welfare industry. Let's look at the Navamsha chart. Here too I find Moon and Saturn in the 10th house. So far I'm actually seeing someone who's involved in social welfare activities. In the Dasamsha chart now, things are becoming a bit more clear. Mars is ruling the house linked to her career. So if I were to reverse engineer this and imagine which planets are linked to a career in tennis, I'd say that's Mars and also Saturn, because you need that passion and drive and technical skill that Mars provides, but you also need discipline and organizational ability, which Saturn provides. So here in the Dasamsha, I find Mars ruling her career house. Good news. Mars furthermore is in the 5th house. All careers in the sporting world are seen from the 5th house. So Mars ruling the 10th in the 5th is now directly linking her career to the field of tennis playing. If you go back to the main chart, I'd earlier mentioned with tennis playing you need, or any career rather in any sport, you need Mars and Saturn's strong influence on the houses linked to your career. Mars is placed where? It's in the nakshatra of Anuradha, ruled by Saturn. So Mars in her chart ruling the house linked to her career in the Dasamsha is expressing its energy in the environment of Saturn. Now, if you go back to the D10 chart, I find Jupiter in the 12th house and Mars is in the 8th house from the 10th house. These are strong indications of career change. In fact, just a few days ago, I posted a shorts video on combinations of career change in which I've mentioned if the ruler of the houses linked to your career are in these houses, the 5th house, which would be the 8th from the 10th, or in the 12th house, Jupiter ruling the 10th house in the 12th house and the Dasamsha, is a strong indication of career change. What has happened? Right through Rahu's Mahadasha, she was involved in building her career in tennis. However, when she entered Jupiter's Mahadasha, she started having issues with her tennis career. Firstly, a knee issue, and a second knee issue, then a back issue. Eventually, she retired in the year 1999, and since then, most importantly, she has been running a social welfare organization called Children for Tomorrow. And since then, she has been an advocate of mental health for children who are suffering from trauma of some kind. She's also been involved in counseling the children who are refugees. So do you see here? So yes, she fulfilled her aspiration to be a tennis player during Rahu's chapter. Rahu's Mahadasha is all about fulfilling our desires, but her life's purpose, if you go back to her chart, it was more about social welfare. And when she entered Jupiter's Mahadasha, the transition occurred. Her career changed. And now she is actively on a full-time basis working on that foundation with her partner. Why is that? The ruler of the house linked to marriage and the career house are jointly ruled. So 2 things here. She married eventually someone who's also a tennis player, so partner can be from the same line of work. And secondly, even now she's working with her partner, her husband, Andre Agassi, in this social welfare initiatives. The ruler of the marriage house in the Navamsha is Mars. She was meant to be with a very Mars Anuradha-like person. So if Mars Anuradha led her to build a career in tennis, her partner could also have been in tennis. What about her tennis skills? When Mars is there in Anuradha, Anuradha's ruler Saturn is in Ashwini, I think this is someone who possesses tennis skills which are driven by years and years of practice, years and years of discipline. If Mars was in Ashwini, I think she could have been known for the fastest serve. But in her case, I think when she went on court things would have happened automatically for her. Her body would have reacted to years of practice. That's what Mars and Saturn does. And what kind of a character does she have? She has Moon and Mercury in her chart in the constellation of Rohini and Venus in Bharani. Venus, incidentally, is also ruling the first house in the Navamsha chart. I think she was naturally blessed with this natural charm and charisma. And secondly, the ruler of the fourth house is Mercury, which is in the 12th house. This is a strong indication. She was meant to build her life on a permanent basis in a place foreign. Now, she was married in October, the year 2001. Now, that wasn't a big event because she already was dating, and in the same month she also gave birth. If you look at the Dasha at that time, she was going through Venus's Pranta Dasha. So Venus's chapter is always a good time for marriage. And secondly, Venus in her main chart is ruling the 5th house, the house linked to childbirth. It's not very surprising that she gave birth while she was under the Dasha of the ruler of the 5th house, which furthermore was Venus, and Venus signifies a new beginning of some kind. This is what I wanted to share about her. Her chart isn't very straightforward. It doesn't occur to you when you have a first look at it that she's a tennis player, but as you explore the divisional charts, you begin to see that she could have a career, a very successful one, in tennis or in the sporting world. But more than that, I think her life's journey or life's purpose was meant to be in the social welfare industry, and I'm hoping you've learned some important lessons here. If you have any questions, please send me an email. Hopefully this was useful. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.